There are so many teams in the NBA that are like Derek White. It's time to let it go. It's time to start their rebuild so that they can have a fresh start and a new sense of direction. So, let's get into the first team. The first team is the team that everyone expected to be on this list, the Chicago Bulls. The Bulls, they're garbage, to be frank with you. They are the 13th seed in the East, which is a very weak East. Zach LaVine, he's disgruntled and he doesn't want to be there anymore, and to me, he's pretty injury prone. Not to mention their glue of the team, Lonzo Ball, he's very injury prone. DeMar is wasting his last few years there. Everything in this situation is terrible. They have two different timelines going on. They have young talent, but then they want to compete. Not to mention they have young players that can really blossom on this team. I think that Patrick Williams, their fourth pick, he really just needs the opportunity with the team that's, not actually trying to compete. Kobe White, he needs to be moved from this team. I just think that the Bulls and him, they're just not meshing well together. Ayo Dosunmu, I think he's another promising young player. Like, they have pieces. And like I said, they can just move off of the other pieces that they have. Vucevic, easy person to move. You can get picks back from our young talent, and they have a good amount of pieces to start off to a great rebuild. Now let's talk about a team that has no reason to even have these players that try to compete. The Utah Jazz. Unlike the Bulls, at least they had some pieces to where if the chips fell down properly, someone got hurt in the playoffs, they could maybe slither their way into a deep run. Utah has no chance. They have too many, just great players on their team that they could just trade off and fully restart their rebuild. Lauri Markkanen is wasting his time in Utah. Yes, he's the one who developed his talent in Utah, became an all-star in Utah, but he needs to go and contend for something. He can't just be wasting these great years that we see him playing right now. Not to mention a few other key pieces that they have, like Colin Sexton, John Collins, Jordan Clarkson, who's a role player. They have really good, feasible role players that they can go out and get second round, maybe possibly if you package it right, first round picks, and go off to another rebuild. And I don't know why they haven't done it. They have no reason to do it. They're not contending for anything. I believe now that they're the 13th seed in the West. Now let's travel to the 6th. Let's talk about the Toronto Raptors. I don't know what's up with this team. For a team that's great at developing young talent, they really just want to hold on to this Pascal Siakam and OG. I don't know why. What's going to happen with these two is possibly what happened to Fred. They didn't trade him. They didn't give him what he wanted, and he wanted to leave. So he went to Houston, got a bag, and they were left with nothing. So what they need to go do is they need to go trade Pascal and OG. And it would be beneficial to their team. I think Pascal being there is just stunting Scotty's growth. And I just think that that's not what this team needs. They have no sense of direction. They don't know if they want to compete now or rebuild for the future. They're kind of in between. And I think a lot of people want someone like an OG. OG is a defensive player. He can provide you some offense. He's a solid key piece that anyone who wants to be a championship contender will try to grab. And Pascal, I can name some teams off the top of the dome that would love to have Pascal Siakam. Versatile scorer, not versatile scorer, let me chill out. Because that spin move is spam like no other. But he can score the ball. He's a good defender. Another great pickup. I don't understand why they're not trying to give out these pieces. Yes, I understand Pascal Siakam. He wants to stay with this team and doesn't plan to sign with anyone new in free agency. But you got to make the decision. It didn't stop you from trading DeMar to go get Kawhi to better your team, right? So don't let this stop you now. Trade these two players. Rebuild your team around Scotty. Because Scotty's someone who has he's like a Draymond Green to me. He's a glue type player, and if you surround him with the perfect pieces, you're going to get the most out of him. This next team is in a very weird situation. The Washington Wizards, they need a rebuild from their rebuild. The pieces that they've been trying to build and draft, they're just not panning out. Jordan Poole, I think he was a great trade and he's a great pickup, but he's not blossoming into what they thought he was going to be. So, not great for them. Kyle Kuzma, he's solid on this team, but he's not really good enough to build your franchise around. Denny Avdija, he's not panning out to me. I'm not gonna lie to you, they just got Johnny Davis and he's looking crazy. His jumper's busted. If we really think about it, what was it, last year they had Rui, he didn't look great on this team. They traded him and now he's on the Lakers. He's instantly looking better. They need a whole new staff, something, development team. Throw the team away. Something has to happen for this team because these past few years they've been bad and bad. I'm pretty sure that the Washington Wizards are the worst or second worst team in the East. But those are my thoughts. Let me know if there's any teams that you guys think I missed or any teams that I need to talk about. But until then, NBA Sphinx out.